Welcome back to You're Not Gonna Like This. This is part B of episode 7. I have the same people that I had with me in part A, my boy Cam, and my co-host as always, PJ. We're gonna get right into it. All right, so first we're gonna hit on James Harden. James Harden, as you know, is probably one of the greatest scorers of all time based on what he does in the regular season. And let me explain why. It's just the regular season.
Fouls to give, both in the penalty. Under 2 to play. Harden step back, puts up the 3, got hit, shot's good, and one. James Harden.
In the regular season, James Harden, in the last 4, I did the average for the last 4. In the last 4, he averages 32, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, shoots 44 from the field, and 36 from 3. But the reason we talk about Harden as much as we do in the playoffs because he just doesn't play the same.
Here in the 4th. What a move by Sean Livingston.
In pivotal games, the criteria used for this was when the opposing playoff team wins their 3rd game in that series, he plays terrible. So what y'all like to say, he plays good. Okay, on paper it says he averages 29, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. But let's look at the real part, the efficiency. So he only shoots 41% from the field, and he shoots a whopping 21% from 3, and he has over 7 turnovers per game in those pivotal games. Now look at
that is atrocious.
It is very bad. But now let's look at the elimination games. Now in elimination games, you think your star player, he supposed to go crazy. Well, James Harden is not doing that. So he's just not doing it.
He was looking for a foul on Bell. Mike D'Antoni upset. They are in their grill. Here's Harden way off.
So he's just not doing that. So he actually falls even worse in elimination games. He only averages 25 points per game, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. He shoots 41% from the field as well, 24% from 3, and 5 turnovers. So really, it's kind of.
But my thing is
better at is his turnovers.
Yeah, and the thing is, even with them, like you said 25 points per game in elimination games. It's like I wonder how much of those come from the free throw line, bro.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't.
It's probably at least 10 of those points are coming from the free throw line.
It's definitely a lot because I remember one elimination game when he played the Spurs, he had a whopping 10 points. 10. That's terrible.
But I know exactly what game you're talking about, bro. Kawhi didn't even play that game. Kawhi didn't even play that game, and that man
the Spurs won by
was
30.
trash.
Yeah. I remember that. I looked at the score. Shout out to the basketball reference. All my Hoops fans, man. That is the greatest basketball website. You get everything on there. You find everything. But let's not stray too far away from the point. Why can't James Harden perform in the playoffs as well as he does in the regular season?
That man be burnt out.
Bro, it's like that's what I used to think, but it's like, bro, they got all that month off. I mean, they got them 4 months off in quarantine and stuff, and it's like, bro. But I mean, I think James Harden honestly just has like a beta mentality with alpha talent, though. You know what I'm saying, like, bro? Because you even saw in Game 6 versus the Thunder. Again, that was a bad game for the Rockets in general, but it's like, bro, you saw Russ going crazy, like doing this dumb stuff at the end, but it's like you also saw Harden not even trying to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like any other time, at any other course in the game, at any other point in the game, Harden is going to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? They was denying him and stuff, but it's like, he's working to get off. He's pushing off, you know what I'm saying, to get open. And it's like, especially when you're seeing Russ making these bad decisions. He done shot some bad shots, had some bad turnovers. You're not even trying to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? When your season could potentially be on the line, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, that doesn't make sense to me, you know what I'm saying? Then just even the fact is like how you go from averaging 34 points a game in the regular season on pretty good on decent efficiency, and then you get into the playoffs, everything drops, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like you putting up 30 but on like 40% from the field, like that 12 of those points are coming from the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? You go 3-point percentage is terrible. You don't shoot mid-range. You want to shoot at least 12 threes and you like 2 for 12. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how is that going to win you anything? And you don't want to shoot mid-range. So it's like, bro, I think all that stuff just catches up to him, bro. It's like, he's obviously a great talent, but he has some major flaws in his game. Well, he has major, like, costly flaws in his game. You know what I'm saying? The things that he has flaws in, it's like those are some of the most important things, especially when it comes to the playoffs.
especially those elimination games.
Yeah.
Most don't know that in that infamous Game 7 when the Houston Rockets went 0-24 from 3, James Harden was 4-15 in that game, and that's things you just can't be as a superstar player. What about you, PJ? What you got to say on James Harden's inexcusable play in pivotal playoff games?
I think it comes down to pressure in terms of handling the ball, things of that nature. I think like Cam said, he's a beta with alpha skill. You seen that when he had Chris Paul on his team, he had somebody to kind of be that vocal point guard leader while he got his numbers, and they were successful. They were successful in that. I don't think. I'm pretty sure Jay Williams has said this. It might have been on the jump. He said he thinks James Harden needs to be a second option on a contender rather than the first option, which makes sense because like even what Cam said in Game 6, there was no reason that Russell Westbrook should have had the ball as much as he did in the final minutes of that game, and James Harden didn't do anything to get the ball. He just stood there and let it happen. It's like if you want to be seen as one of the all-time greats, like you're obviously one of the best scorers the game has ever seen, like ever. It's like why don't you have the ball in your hand when it matters the most?
Yeah.
Like
why this is your team at the end of the day. This is your team.
Even in Game 7 of that series, why is Lou Dort holding you to 2 of 11 shooting? He's a rookie. He's undrafted. He's an undrafted rookie. And he's
1 of 9 from 3. Let's not forget 30. That.
And it's like, yeah, you got the block at the end, but you were awful the whole game. Like, you were terrible. Like,
they would have lost that game, bro. There would have been nothing for anybody to ever say about Harden. Like, it's like, bro, you're everything. We was right about you. You know what I'm saying?
If the inbounder was different, the Thunder would have won.
They
had the wrong inbounder. That's what I'm saying.
At some point, you gotta realize that you can't just do things like this, like where you're not coming up big in these situations and expect people to take you seriously in these playoffs. Like I listened to a podcast on the Ringer. It's like the Ringer NBA show, or whatever, and they're always talking about how James Harden is like this guy. Like he does. I don't even think he likes James Harden for him, just because he knows that James Harden is never gonna come up big when it matters the most. And it's like I understand that because we've never seen it before. Like even going back to when he was a 6 man. When he played the Heat in the finals, he was garbage because he just hasn't he doesn't know how to come up big when it matters the most.
And it's like I actually had seen somebody debating about this on Twitter the other day, bro. It's like, bro, nobody can name like a signature Harden game, you know what I'm saying, in the playoff, you know what I'm saying? Everybody only remembers his failures, you know what I'm saying, because he's never had that signature game that's been like, oh, James Harden, like, you know what I'm saying? All the great players have had those games.
Yeah.
KD has them all the time. Bron has them all the time. We saw Kawhi last year. He had great games for the majority of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Harden is like
one of them Steph games came at the expense of Harden. When you win. When Harden, they're in game 6 or game 7 or whatever it was. No Kevin Durant.
Game 6 last year.
Steph Curry has 0 in the first, and you let him drop 30, and you don't do anything about, bro. Like it's things like that.
Bro, even that game in Game 6 last year versus the Warriors, bro. Like he literally threw some terrible passes at the end that led to the Warriors winning, like getting wide open threes for like Clay and Steph. Bro, it's like, bro, what are you doing?
It's like what I just want to know what Harden wants out of his career. It's like, okay, it's another Russ thing. 36 points is cool. We enjoyed 36 points, but at the end of the day, you gotta be on. If you're gonna score 36, you better be Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant was gonna win no matter what. Like he was not gonna let his team lose. He scored 36 and they won. You can't be scoring all these points in the regular season, and when you get to the playoffs, you fold it up like a lawn chair. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I've even seen Harden talking about this the other day. He was like, people won't appreciate my game till I'm done playing and stuff. And it's like, bro, we always gonna know that you was cold.
You don't win.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna always know that, like, folks can just look at the stats and say, like, oh, this is obviously one of the greatest scorers, but it's like, bro, you don't have no signature moments in the playoffs when it really matters.
It's like
you don't have no games where anybody says, like, oh, this was a great James Harden game. I mean, like, this was an upper echelon James Harden game. It's like, yeah, it might be a good game. He might have put up great numbers, but did you win? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, bro, me, the way I look at Harden is like, bro, literally, I call his style of, like, somebody's talking about this, is like, bro, he's literally a points accumulator. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because he only shoots, he shoots only threes, and he only shoots at the rim, and he only shoots free throws. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, you know, the threes aren't the most efficient thing, but it's like in terms of getting value for your points, it's like if you shoot a lot of threes, you're gonna score a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? If you're making them, if you get into the free throw line 12 times a game, that's 12 points a game right there. You know, if you only shooting stuff at the rim, you know, it's a lot. You're gonna shoot a lot higher percentage at the rim. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that mid-range and stuff, he doesn't shoot those, and it's like, you know, that's cool in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? You putting up these crazy numbers, bro. But it's like when defense gets tight and people know that you only shooting a three or you're only going to the rim, your game is too predictable, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we've just seen countless years. You know what I'm saying? And even back then, it's like Harden did used to shoot mid-range shots, but it's like he got beta mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not trying to take over a game, like, you know what I'm saying, or close somebody out. Like I've never seen James Harden really close nobody out. You know what I'm saying? Like not in no like intense series. You know, he maybe close out the Utah Jazz or something in round one.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, that's not showing me nothing, bro. It really ain't.
That's meaningless.
Yeah,
he's gonna if James Harden doesn't step his game up soon, he's gonna fall into the ranks of guys like Tracy McGrady, one of the
Hall of Fame talent, bro. But it's like you don't got nothing to show for your career
ever.
at the end of the day.
But has nothing.
I think with McGrady was more injury thing.
More injury? Okay, I don't know then exactly, but it's a guard there that was great. But no playoffs, no nothing. Him and Russ might fall into the same conversation.
But I mean, him and AI probably gonna end up in the same conversation.
I would relate it more. I relate to AI because, but AI put up high point totals. And of course, AI didn't have the squads like Harden. They're gonna be remembered. They're gonna be
they careers will be remembered
for
more similar.
Yeah, they're high scoring guys who didn't succeed in the playoffs. It's as simple as that.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. AI definitely has some memorable playoff games. One of the 2000 NBA Finals, we talk about that every year.
That's 1 year. I mean, after that,
you know what I'm saying.
AI played for 20 years. He ain't got the team though, like you just said, the squads.
I mean, yeah, but
Eric Snow, your second best. Then you got Chris Paul.
When he was with Melo, bro, they was nice, bro, and it's like they still didn't, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I mean,
that
of course
time,
they ran into the tough Lakers team. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
you know
that time AI wasn't the same AI anymore. Yeah. He was old.
But that's the thing. It's like his Philly years, bro. He don't really. I mean, you know, he took him in 2001. You know, he was on one that year. That's the year he won MVP and everything. But it's like, you know, all them other Philly years, it's like, bro. I mean, and this is no slight at AI. You know what I'm saying? AI is one of my favorite players ever. Like, but it's like, bro, he just doesn't have the playoff success to show. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like him and Harden, that's why I'm saying him and Harden will have very similar careers when you look back at it. That's not to say that they weren't killers and like the best at what they do, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, they just don't have the hardware to show it at the end of the day.
I feel that, but let's keep it going with in the point guard battle. Let's go ahead and touch on Russ real fast since he's at risk of one of those players that's gonna be big stat getter. No big time awards to show for it. And I'm not going to really get into the stats too much. Just know if you remember back last year in his Brody days, he was averaging 29, 12, and 8 plus assists a game. And he was shooting actually pretty good from three with like 35% and shooting about 40 from the field. But then we look at him in these playoffs, he's fell all the way down to 19. He's shooting 27% from three. He's not even passing the ball as well. Only at 4 assists, and he's shooting roughly the same field, but just the 3-point percentage alone is really, really bad. So yeah. I really don't know what's next for Russ. I really hope he does get, better from the field, of course, and better 3-point shooting, because as he gets older in his career, his athleticism alone is not going to be enough. It's not going to cut it because, as Kobe, in his first 10 years, Kobe was probably one of the most athletic people ever. But as Kobe knew, the athleticism wasn't working, bro got that jumper right.
Yeah, bro. It's like you gotta boost your skills as your athleticism.
Pass was coming in a little hot. Westbrook on LeBron.
Skill level got to get better, bro.
So what exactly does Russ have to really do to, not be on this exposed players list?
Be the third option.
You gotta fix that damn jumper, bro. That
shit is stiff as hell.
That shit is broke.
bro. And it's like if you gonna play for a long time, you cannot rely so heavily on your athleticism. It just doesn't work that way. Play the great players adapt. Kobe adapted. LeBron, while he still has his athleticism, he shoots jumpers. I mean, it's you got to respect it.
Yeah.
Even Derrick Rose, like I said, Derrick Rose adapted. At the end of the day, you can't expect to be, you know, I mean, he's not that old right now, but when you turn 34, 35, you can't be out here trying to dunk on everybody all the time. You can't be out here skying for these rebounds and going in transition because your body not going to work that way. So it's like you got to figure out what you need to do to extend your career, your career path, like extend the longevity of your career. Like I said with LeBron, he's year 17 playing as good as he's ever played because he found a way to adapt to what he needed to do. And of course, you know, 260, 6'9", you know, that helps. But I mean, Russell, he just got to figure out what he wants to do and where he wants his career to go, how he wants to be remembered. Because right now, he's going to be remembered as a guy who put up a lot of numbers and didn't do anything meaningful in the playoffs. He can't get out the first round. And the year he does get out the first round, he loses in 5. Was it the second round? So it's
easy work.
It's like what do you?
I mean, because technically they really got swept. It was a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah,
it's like 4 straight.
What do you want? If you're Russell Westbrook, what do you want out of your? What do you want to do now? Like, what's your main goal before you retire? Do you want to win, or do you want to just be this guy that puts up these stats that don't matter at the end of the day? That's my take on it.
I couldn't have said it better. You know, I hope he does get more from the field. I really does, because you know, he's falling. He's falling fast, man.
And it's crazy, bro, because, like, you know, when Russ won MVP, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of conversations like, oh, is Russ the best point guard in the league? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was between him and Steph. And, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a conversation to be had, you know what I'm saying? And it's actually crazy to see, like, how, like, that was, 2017?
That combo ain't even nothing. That ain't nothing.
Russ is not in that combo.
He's not in that combo.
I don't know what's happened since
Bro, he's been getting more exposed, bro.
But ever since Dame, he just went.
I feel like
skill set is getting exposed, bro.
Dame
I feel like Dame playing the way he plays and showing like that this style of play ultimately will beat the style of play that Russ plays in. That just kind of took Russ out of this convo of okay, he's this winning player. He's not that anymore. Like you need a guy who can stretch the floor out to the 3-point line. You need a guy
or can just get where it's not just limited to shooting at the rim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even Kyrie and stuff like you know what I'm saying. When Kyrie, like you know what I'm saying, because folks are saying like you know Russ was better than Kyrie and Steph at this time. It's like
it's like
in no world am I ever taking Russ over those
guys like Kyrie and guys like Steph, guys like Dame. They know how to get to their spots and score in their spots. Russ Westbrook doesn't have a spot other than outside the paint. His spot is the rim. So it's like if you want to be one of these top guards, you got to find a way to adapt to what today's game is.
Or it's like if you're not going to adapt your style like that, you gotta adapt it in another way. Like I was saying earlier, like he needs to look at like how Kyle Lowry was playing with the Raptors when they won the ship, because you know what I'm saying. Kyle Lowry, like he alternated between like being the secondary or third option, but you know what I'm saying. His role never changed though. It was playmaking and doing all the dirty work. You know what I'm saying. And if he had to. Like, if the game was set up for him to go off, he would go off. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they wasn't relying on him every night to, like, okay, I need you to go get 25 tonight because if you don't, we going to lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you, like, say it's Harden and say, like, just say hypothetically, like, they got another wing scorer, like, just say Jimmy or something just off the top. Harden, Jimmy, and you got Russ as your third dude. It's like, bro, you can make some noise with that because it's like you have dependable people to cover up for Russ's deficiencies and like Russ will be able to play to his strengths in other ways.
Man, honestly, I think what Russ should do is, we're all gonna remember Russ as this guy. We're never gonna forget him averaging a 30-point triple-double. He's always gonna be regarded as
and then he did it 2 more seasons after.
Yeah, he's always gonna be regarded as one of the great players. I think that he needs to try to drop this, I gotta do all this label and put all his energy into winning basketball, like
playing team ball versus
go out there and play hard-nosed defense for 48 minutes. Go out there and put all that energy into like take all the energy away from these erratic plays you make at the end of the game and all these turnovers, and put that into like getting the stop at the end of the game, or diving for the loose ball, or crashing the board. Like just do things, just make winning plays. Like don't be a hero, bro. You're not that type of player. You've never been that type of player. So why are you trying to be that type of player? You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's facts. Like Charles Barkley used to say, get out that hero ball mindset into that team mindset.
And that's like Russ. A lot of his mistakes. I mean, a lot of the bad things with Russ just come from him literally trying to do too much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his turnovers is leading right to fast break points. You know what I'm saying? Because he want to throw it like, you know what I'm saying, giving them a head start, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
that's true.
And especially it's like also Russ not even good on defense how he was no more either, you know what I'm saying? Russ, I mean, honestly, I don't have the stats in front of me, but it's like Russ, I think like somebody was when Harden was off the floor, like the Rockets were like minus 11 or something when it was just Russ on the court and no Harden. Like it was something real bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, bro, you're supposed to be the secondary dude, and it's like, you know, you're not contributing to winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so plus minus ain't the end all be all, but it's like, bro, that's something you can look at, especially like when your best player's off.
You know it's bad when Eric Gordon is putting more, you know,
facts.
Doing more
Eric Gordon ain't never been consistent.
Eric Gordon, he's sweet and all, but he not supposed to be.
I'm about to say Eric Gordon is no slouch.
He's just streaky though.
But he's not supposed to be doing better than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
cap, definitely not. He is the third option. But let's keep on going to, you know, those lesser options. We're gonna touch on my boy Danny Green. You know, shooting slump at first. You know, shooting 38 in these playoffs, 41 in the regular season. But, you know, in the first round, he shot only 34, and in this past round, he shot 42, and y'all are like, probably like, whoa, those are very, very high numbers for shooting around the three. But for a guy like Danny Green back in 2013, when he was shooting 55 in the finals and 48 them whole playoffs, this ain't the Danny Green we all know and we all saw came on the scene back then. So my question is, how will Danny Green really get back to that finals Danny Green, that my team card we all love?
Bro, I think he's just gonna be better. I think he's just due to be better. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who's been known for shooting, you know, somebody who shot 55% in the finals, 48% throughout the playoffs or a whole playoff run. You know what I'm saying? He's been in these big stages. You know, he hit big shots for the Raptors last year. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he just got to keep shooting them because, you know, it keeps the defense honest for AD and Bron, keeps the spacing and stuff. But it's like, you know, he's not hitting them right now. And, you know, because his only job is to shoot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you're not making them, it's like, it's kind of like, okay, what you doing on the court? You know what I'm saying? Because even Danny Green was actually talking about, like, how some of the fans, you know, like, be coming at him and stuff, talking about, like, oh, y'all not real fans, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, all that stuff is real, but it's like also when you're getting paid $15 million a year
to just shoot the ball.
To just catch passes from LeBron James or Rajon Rondo or get kickouts from AD, you know what I'm saying? Because the majority of his shots be open threes, you know what I'm saying? Corner threes.
And he be missing.
And he be bricking, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your job. That's part of the reason why you got paid $15 million, bro. So don't be mad when people mad at you for not doing your job well. You know
probably the highest paid 3-and-D player in the league.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think Danny Green is due for a good series eventually. I mean, he's not shooting terrible. It's just not Danny Green shooting.
Like,
you feel me? Like, it hasn't been terrible. Like it was
gotten better from the beginning of the bubble.
It was pretty bad.
It
was pretty bad to start the bubble, and it was pretty bad. It was okay last year, but this series, 42%. That's not. Well, the Houston series 42%. I think that, you know, once he sees more go in, that's when the confidence rises. And, you know, when confidence is pretty much everything in the NBA. And when you see jumpers fall, they start to fall. Like last game, I'm pretty sure was he 4 for 6, something like that?
Yeah, 4 for 6, 6.
Yeah. So I mean, 4 for 6, that's good.
That's Danny Green.
That's what you need from Danny Green.
That's the Green Ranger.
If you get that from Danny Green, you gonna expect to win games. Like, I just think that he just needs to, you know, try to get that confidence up and keep shooting and try to knock them down because they're gonna be open. Like, you playing with LeBron and AD, they're gonna be open.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, but let's go ahead and move it back to those star players. Now we're gonna look at, you know, Giannis, MVP guy, you know, great player, generational talent, can really very fluid for a guy his size. But in regular season, he averages nearly 30. He averages 30, if not just over 30 points per game with a high volume of rebounds, between 12-13. But in series where he plays teams that wall up, he falls down. And actually, both Heat and Heat series he just lost in Toronto series last year, he falls to below 23 points per game. And his rebounds are still the same, but rebounds, give or take, at 6'11". That's not really hard to really grab. But his assists fall as well. He goes from 6 to almost at risk of falling under 5. But really, it's his points.
Probably went up too.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't look at those, but the points is the really main part of the conversation. Is like, what does Giannis really have to do to become more efficient against teams that actually are good at defending him, i.e., walling up and making the paint really inaccessible to him?
It's all about working on his game, man. I mean, you know, in the playoffs, the half court is important. Half court offense is important because everything slows up. You know, guys start the game plan for you for 7 games. So those spin moves, those Euro steps, they're not always available or as available as they usually are. And, you know, I think that Miami did a good job of having bodies to throw at him and stopping him from doing what he likes to do, because, you know, all that transition stuff, you know, that ain't gonna fly in the playoffs. And that's how that's why the Bucks were so historically great, is because they played this crazy defense that forced a lot of turnovers. But at the end of the day, that's got to translate to the playoffs. And at the end of, you know, it's just, he just got to work on his game, man. That's it. Like, that's how you stop this whole wall up method, you know.
But I think another thing is, like, also, I think Giannis, well, just Milwaukee in general, if he stays in Milwaukee, I think they need to figure out what position Giannis is going to be, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's the Greek freak, you know what I'm saying? He can play any position, but it's like, you know, sometimes they have him playing like he's a wing. Sometimes they have him playing like he's a big, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think for the main thing for Giannis is he's got to get better in that mid-post area. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's got to get a face-up game, post-up game, be able to shoot mid-range instead of just jacking threes or going to the rim, because it's like they'll give him the mid-range. He can shoot over anybody, you know what I'm saying? You know, I really think he needs to look at people like KD and Kawhi, like the way they operate, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can still shoot the three, but it's like the majority of their – like, they'll shoot the three based off of how the defense is playing them based on their mid-range game, you know what I'm saying? Kawhi got spots, KD got spots. Giannis can get to these spots. He just don't, like, you know what I'm saying? His jumper not there yet, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that's one of the main things he got to work on, is just making sure that he can keep the defense honest, or, like, you know, if they do wall up, I can sit here and pull up, shoot a mid-range shot, you know what I'm saying? Because that makes things harder, and that gives you points in a playoff series, you know what I'm saying? Like, easier points, you know what I'm saying? Rather than trying to force your way to the rim or shooting a low percentage three, that the defense will take you shooting a three any day of the week, you know what I'm saying? So I just think he got to diversify his game, and also his handle. His handle has to get better, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they're going to play him like he is a wing, you know what I'm saying? His handle has to get better, because he has no handles, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But that's really all I got for y'all today. We really enjoyed, like, talking about these guys and performances and playoffs, because, you know, all three of us here we're huge basketball fans. We really love and watch the game. But I definitely expect us to talk about this in the future, you know, with the season ending, the NBA Finals on the horizon, free agency, the draft. You know, stay tuned for things like that, because we're gonna really get into it, especially during NBA free agency, because that's gonna be one of the biggest times of the year.
Man, and you know, the NFL starting, so I mean.
Oh yeah, it's about to get crazy.
We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. But this is not the end of this episode series, though. We gotta get into the vaccine portion of the episode. In the next 7C, we're gonna talk about the COVID vaccine, when it's coming out, what's the impact of it, and how it's gonna look. So, you know, I'm glad y'all joined us today. Stay tuned for more. This is Ira signing off. PJ is always the co-host. Special guest Camo signing off as well. Good talking to y'all. See y'all soon.